Hello, I wonder if you can spot if I'm in your classroom doing this assembly. Aspen class, did you get it? I'm in your classroom today. I wonder where I'll be next time. So, yesterday it snowed. I woke up in the morning, I threw back my curtains and I was so excited. So excited to see a beautiful white carpet all over the floor. I don't know about you, were you excited as well? I couldn't wait to get all of my warm weather clothes on, my welly boots, and go out into the snow. I threw open the back door. I raced out into the snow. I could feel my feet crunching. I ran round the garden with the dog, of course. And then I came back inside and I was freezing. And I had a nice hot chocolate for breakfast. I wonder how many of you played in the snow yesterday. It was very exciting to have a snow day on a Sunday, wasn't it? It made me remember, while I was out playing in the snow, a story that my granddad told me when I was very little. And the reason that I remembered that story was because the sun was out yesterday. It's out today as well. And when I was standing looking around, I could see my neighbour's house. And the windows of my neighbour's house looked as if they were made of gold. Now, I know that my neighbour's house hasn't got gold windows. What do you think was making it look as if it was gold? It was the sun. The sun was shining down and reflecting off the windows. We know, don't we, that windows allow light to come through. There's a special science word for that. Can you remember it? Windows are transparent. But yesterday, because the sun was coming down at an angle, it made the light bounce back and it made the windows look as if they were golden. And it reminded me of a story that my granddad told me many, many years ago. And the story was about a little boy who lived on the side of a valley. If you imagine a V-shaped valley, just like this. The little boy lived on this side and in a village on this side of the valley. And he used to get up in the morning and look at the village on this side of the valley. One morning he woke up and he peered out of his window and he could see across the valley to the windows of the houses on the other side of the mountain. They were golden. He thought to himself, how wonderful. I just wish I lived in the village on the other side of the mountain. Then I would have golden windows and I would be rich. That's it. I've decided, he said to himself, that after breakfast I'm going to move. And so he did. He had his breakfast. He packed a little packed lunch because he thought he was going to be a long time, and he set off. He walked from his house all the way down to the bottom of the valley. What do you think you found at the bottom of the valley? In the bottom of lots of valleys there are rivers. And he found a river at the bottom of the valley with a beautiful bridge over the river. He stopped at that bridge and had his lunch because it was about halfway through the day and he was feeling a little bit hungry. And then he set off after lunch and walked across the bridge and up the other side of the hill. By the time he got to the village on the other side of the hill, it must have been around about tea time. So he looked about and he searched really hard to find the houses that had golden windows. And he went to the first house and he went to the second house and he went to the third house. He couldn't find any houses with golden windows. So in the end, he stopped and asked the postman. "Excuse me, postman," he said to the postman. "Where's the house with the golden windows?" And the postman looked at him. He said, "I'm not really too sure what you're talking about," he said. We don't have any houses in this village with golden windows. The little boy said, yes, you do, because when I woke up this morning in my village and I looked at the houses over here, I could see houses that had golden windows. I want to find the house with the golden windows because there must be lots of gold there and I'll be very rich if I can find the house with the golden windows. The postman, who was a wise postman, as often postmen are, because they see a lot of things on their journeys round the houses. The postman said, I think I might be able to help you. Come with me and look in the park. So they walked together to the park. And in the park overlooked the other side of the mountain, the other side of the valley. And when the little boy and the postman stood looking across at the other side, can you guess what they saw? Well, yes, they saw the village over this side now looked as if the windows were golden. And the little boy said, I don't believe it. I've walked all this way to find a house with golden windows. And now my own house, the other side of the valley, has got golden windows. Why is that? And the wise postman said, it's all to do with the sun in the sky. The sun changes position in the sky during the day. The sun stays still, but the planet moves. So it looks to us on the ground, and it looked to the little boy who was living on his side of the valley, as if the sun was staying still, but it wasn't. The sun was moving, and the sun had moved across in the sky. So in the morning, the sun was shining on this side of the valley and making the windows here look as if they were golden. And the little boy had thought they had the best deal. So he'd walked all the way over to this side of the valley. By the end of the day, he looked back at his own house, and his own house had golden windows too. Usually the moral of the stories I tell you in assemblies always have a moral. They've got a meaning, haven't they? Can you think about a meaning that goes with that story? I think the author of the story is trying to tell us to be satisfied, that things aren't always better in other people's lives. For the little boy, he wasn't satisfied. He wasn't happy in his house because he thought the houses on the other side of the valley had a better deal. But when he got there, he realised that actually they were the same as his house. Sometimes it's easy to look at other people's lives. It's easy to look at things going on in other people's houses and other classes in a school and think, wow, they've got it better than me. Whereas actually sometimes it's worth just taking a moment to think about how lucky we are. Even now, when we're in a lockdown situation, I'm sure that if you think really hard, you'll be able to find out things that you'll be able to think of things that are better for you than other people. It might be that you are learning at home and you don't have to get up quite as early as the children that are learning in school. Or it might be that you're learning in school, in which case you get to see more of your friends than the people learning at home. Let's all try today just to think of one thing to be happy about. It's made a lot easier because it's such a lovely sunny day. Thanks for listening to my assembly today. Bye for now.